Hey there, Stampers. This is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada, and I am happy to be here live with you on this beautiful Friday in June. Okay, I'm just updating my iPad here. All right. Okay, so right before I was going to go live, my pre-order arrived, so I wanted to share a little peek before we get started into some of the upcoming products, and a couple of them are actually currently available. So let's do that first, and then I'll share what we're going to be creating today. Okay, so now every month 2 new kits are released, and Stampin' Up! Has released 2 beautiful kits this month, but one of them I am super excited about. So the other one is, I didn't order the other one, but the other one is cards, but this one is scrapbooking related, and you know that I love to scrapbook, and I have used this format before. So I was super excited when I saw this kit. So as soon as my box arrived, I cracked it open. I had to have a look at it. So it is called the Scenic Route Travel Journal Kit. So if you've got past holidays that you need to document, or maybe you've got a big trip planned that you would like to document, this is a great kit for that. Okay, so let's take a look at what it is. So it is a hard cover. And it's got an elastic, so it's kind of like a traveler's notebook kind of version or format. So the elastic goes around and it opens up like a book, and then there's elastics in here that you slide your books into. So let me have a look here. Okay, so I haven't had that close of a look yet. So there are, looks like these folders. Well, they're not even really folders, just folded pieces of, oh, here's a pocket. So maybe you could put this inside of this, like this. I think that's how it's intended to be used. And then you can put these in here like this. Slide them in, and then you've got like little books in here, and they'll be flip out, so it's very interactive pockets. So that's how it's intended to be used. But let's take a look at what else is in here. So there's 2 of each of those, a roll of tear and tape, and then look at these. There's some tabs, there's some journaling pieces that have like holes at the top. This has like a grid pattern. Here are some pockets. They're scored, so you can fold them, use the tear and tape to create a little pocket to hold ephemera. Here's another sheet of that. Some more pockets, lots and lots of pockets, some tags and other little bits and pieces so you can add some journaling. And then here is some, oh, these are stickers. Look at this little sign, so cute. A suitcase, some leaves, a bicycle, a car, some geotags, some hearts, sunglasses. Here's another sheet of this. I love the camera and the globe. Oh, the stack of suitcases, compass. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. Another sheet of stickers. Best day ever, smile, delish, hello. We travel not to escape life, but for life not to escape us. A bunch of different words. So these are all little stickers. So you get 2 sheets of these. Here's some more stickers. Yeah, they're stickers. This is in a different language. Oh, okay. So we've got 3 different languages here. I think this is one of them is German, maybe Dutch. These are more stickers. We've got French, some more stickers, and then some alphabet stickers. So you can do some titles, and then another sheet of stickers with some numbers. So tons and tons of things that you can use to decorate the album. So I am definitely going to use this. Actually, I think I'm going to pick up a couple extra kits because we've got a family holiday plan next May, and it would be fun for us to kind of put together something where we could document our trip. So I think that would be great for that. But just a fun project to document something that you've got coming up, or maybe something from the past. So that is called the Scenic Route Travel Journal Kit. It is available right now in the kits collection section of our website. All right, so we've got that, and I believe the price point, I think it was $30, so that's pretty good. You get a lot of stuff for $30. And then we've got a little peek at some upcoming online exclusives. So as a demonstrator, one of the perks is being able to purchase product early. So there is a whole line of online exclusives that are going to be released July 3rd to customers, and we as demonstrators have the opportunity to order them now. Now because the catalog just launched, there's so many great things in there. I didn't order a ton of things, but there were a few things that I just needed to have. One of them is this Greetings of the Season bundle. So it comes with this stamp set, which has a ton of greetings for inside and outside of your cards for the holidays, and then these fabulous dies. And I love dies that can be used for so many different sets, and this is one of those die sets. So lots of different tag shapes, so you can use them with so many other different greetings or images, create tags for gift bags. Like, there's just so many possibilities with these, so I was really excited about these. So I got and you can never have enough greetings, right? So I got the bundle for that. Now, because it's not available until July 3rd to customers, but it is a pre-order product, you can include these items in your starter kit. So if you've been considering joining Stampin' Up, then now is a great time, because you can get your hands on these products before anyone else. So there's this greeting set, and then there was an additional greeting set that kind of went along with it. You can see that the fonts are the same. It's just everyday greetings. So you can continue to use those tags throughout the year. And then there's a bunch of different greetings, from anniversary to thank you to congratulations, thinking of you, birthday, hello. So it covers pretty much everything. All right. So I had to have those 3 products, and then I'm a sucker for fall products. I love leaves. I love fall. It's my favorite season. So I had to have this hybrid bundle. So it's called Changing Leaves, and like I said, it is a hybrid bundle, which means that it's got an embossing folder and dies. There's one of the dies. So this actually will snap right into the folder so that it will cut and emboss at the same time. You better believe I'm going to be creating a ton of fall layouts with this. And then there is also these dies as well. So that is the Changing Leaves. Again, you can't get it until July 3rd if you're a customer, but it can be pre-ordered if you are a demonstrator, or if you want to include it as part of your starter kit. The other couple things that I picked up is they have this beautiful ribbon. I love to have like neutral ribbon, white or cream or vanilla, you know, that kind of ribbon. I feel like we don't have a ton of that. So there was this, I think it's cream. What color is it? Yeah, cream woven ribbon. It's really pretty. It's really soft, but it's not stiff, which I think is going to be great for adding to cards. So I added that, and then I also added these. Now, it's probably not showing up so well, but there is a little bit of a, like, almost like a crisscross pattern to these. These are called the Pecan Pie and Clear Ribboned Adhesive Backed Dots. So they're really pretty. And clear and pecan pie, those are colors that you can use for lots of different things. So I added those as well. There's, like I said, there's a ton of other products. There's 2 entire suites. One of them is a mega suite with some patterned paper and some vellum and a couple bundles. Actually, I think this bundle was part of that mega suite, but then there was another bundle as well. So lots of other great product that is due to be released on July 3rd. And then the last thing that I picked up is I picked up the new Close to My Heart collection. It is, it's called Lake Life. So I don't know if you guys know, but on our website, there is a Close to My Heart section where you can see their new releases. Unfortunately, the only people who can purchase this product are people who have email addresses, or who have purchased from Close to My Heart in the past, because there is such a small amount. But I thought that this collection would be perfect to document our trip to Yellowstone. And I have purchased product from Close to My Heart in the past, and I have used some of their kits. They're fabulous. So I'm very excited about what we will have to offer that is similar to this come the fall. So I picked up this to document our trip to Yellowstone. All right. Okay. So today we are going to create 3 cards, and I'll share a peek at those cards in a minute, but we're going to be using the Friends for Life bundle. So right now, so it is June 7th today, 2024, until the end of June, June 30th. Any of our stamp and die bundles are an extra 10% off. So anything that customers can purchase that includes stamps and dies, so not stamp and punch bundles, stamp and die bundles are an extra 10% off, including the Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine and the mini machines. Those are 10% off as well. So bundles are already discounted at 10%. In addition to that, you can get an extra 10% off. So it's almost like getting 20% off of a bundle. So it's a great time to grab a couple of those bundles that might be on your wish list. So we're going to use this bundle today and a little bit of the Full of Life DSP. So I'll just do a quick flip through. This is such a fun, bright paper pack. It is a 6x6 paper pack. Love these ones. So this is one side of each of them, and then you flip it over and you've got some more fun patterns. And I recently participated in an event with some other local demonstrators where we did like a catalog kickoff, and we each choose a suite from the catalog and create an entire table display. So this was the suite that I worked with. I have a ton of things to share with you. Okay, so let's set this aside and let me share a peek at, actually, before we do that, let me just pull out the dies, and I want to share this little board that I did to kind of show what the dies can do. So it's the Full of Life suite. It's from the annual catalog. So what I did was I die cut all of the dies so you could kind of see what the dies looked like, because sometimes it's kind of deceiving. Like this one, I wasn't sure what it was going to look like. So when you cut it out, it cuts out the leaves from the heart, but it's the negative space that you're going to use. So that's kind of fun. And then this I'll show when we're actually going to cut this out today, and I'm going to show you how that cuts and how, it's just share how you can use that. All right, so that's a little trick. There is a friend stamp, and you can use the larger friend to die cut the stamp, or there's a finer friend and you can layer them as well. So, all right, so those are the dies. Okay, let's share a peek at the cards. So we're going to make a slimline card today. This is the slimline. And then we're also going to make this one. And we're going to make this one. So those are the 3 cards that I'm going to share with you today. I do have several other samples that I'll share with you at the end. But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with this one. But we're going to do a packaging technique. So I'm going to pull out the white piece that I need for this one and the white piece that I need for this one. And we're going to do both at the same time. Okay, so when you do the packaging technique, I do suggest that you have an extra piece of cardstock handy, because sometimes you end up with extra ink on your plastic that you can continue to use. I'm not going to go through measurements right here or in the video, but you will be able to find all of the measurements in today's blog post. And if you like to have card kits cut for you, then you have the opportunity to earn the card kits with an order of $60 or more placed between today, June 7th, and June 13th. If you place an order of $60 or more before shipping and tax with me using this month's host code, then I will send you these 3 card kits for free as a little thank you. All right. So I've got a piece of packaging, and this packaging, this is actually just the packaging that comes around our dies. So I just save one of those and I reuse it over and over and over. We're gonna use some balmy blue ink. This is a technique that I do often. I love this because it makes me feel artsy and it's not difficult to do. Okay, so I'm gonna take my balmy blue ink and smush it on here, and it's easier if you have it on a piece so I can see that ink is on there. So you can see you don't need a lot of ink. A little bit goes a long way. So I've got my ink on there. I've got a Stampin' Spritzer with just some water, and I'm gonna spritz it. And you want to be pretty generous with that. You want your water to kind of pool and move and have some movement to it. I'm gonna add a little bit more over here. Okay, and then I'm gonna get my 2 pieces of paper. I normally do this technique on a scrapbook layout, so it's usually a larger canvas. We're gonna drip, and then we're going to kind of, I've got enough that I could do another layer. And then I like to have like some paper towel so that I can just kind of tap off that excess. It speeds up the drying time. And then if there's extra, I'll just kind of flick it to get a little bit of splatter on there. And then I have a big dot there, so I'm just gonna tap that. That also lightens it a little bit. And every time you do it, you're gonna get a different look. Okay, so that is the packaging technique. I'm gonna set that aside. We'll just take this, we'll give it a wipe. And then I just store this in my drawer. And when I wanna do it again, I just reuse it. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Okay, next up, so this is the card that we're gonna make. We're gonna bring in a piece of white cardstock, and I've created a template. So I used this die, just cut it from some cherry cobbler cardstock. Doesn't matter what color cardstock you're gonna use, you just need a scrap of cardstock. So I cut this out of here, and I specifically cut it a little bit larger because we're gonna use our blending brushes to add a little bit of color. And we are going to use 2 different colors, Shaded Spruce and Night of Navy. I'm just gonna slide this off here, and I forgot to grab my blending brushes. Let me grab those. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Shaded Spruce. I'm gonna hold my stencil in place and just add a little bit of green. You can add as much as you want, and then I'll grab some navy and fill in the white space. So that there's no space left. And then you get this beautiful pattern. So pretty. I love this die so much. I can see filling like a background on a scrapbook layout, or even doing multiples on a card. I think it's so pretty. And then we're gonna take this die and we're gonna cut it out. So I'm gonna bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. So this machine is actually on sale for 10% off right now. This one, as well as the mini machine, both the white and the boho blue that is available online. And I'm gonna center it. So I've got a nice even white border all the way around the edges. And then I'm gonna put my tape over top just to hold it in place and feed it through. And then I'll grab this out from underneath. We'll set this aside. Okay, and then when you do that, you'll actually get a couple different pieces. So you get, when you pop this out, you get this heart, which we aren't going to use on this first project, but we're going to set it aside because we're going to use it on the second project. And then you get this piece, which is still attached. We don't want it attached for this, so we're going to just take our snips and just snip it straight down so that we can use that piece. Okay, and then pull my pieces out and I'll share what I've done already. So I've repeated that process on a piece of balmy blue, and then I also did an extra white piece. I figured you didn't need to see me repeat it over and over again. So I've got my extra piece of white here and my extra piece of balmy blue, and then I've got the rest of the pieces that I need to create my card. Okay, so actually we do need to do a couple more things here. So on this piece, I'm going to take the greeting thank you and my Night of Navy ink. And I'm just going to stamp that right down there. And then I'm going to bring in my shaded spruce and the leaf image. And stamp that. And then there is a die that will cut that out. So this die here will cut it out, but I've got one that's already cut. And then the thank you, we're just going to take our paper trimmer and we're going to slice this so it's a little bit thinner. Okay, so these three pieces, we're going to set these aside because we're going to use those on the second card. Okay, so now I think I've got everything. This is going to be for the inside of the card, and I had a scrap of this pattern paper. I'm just going to use this across the top, and actually we'll use this. So just put a little bit of adhesive on here. Put it across the top of the card. We'll flip it over and trim off the excess. And then this can go on the inside of the card. So card base is a slimline card, which folded is 3.5 by 8.5. I think there's a few different sizes of slimlines, but that's the size that I normally do. We'll just put that down, and then we'll do this. So this is our packaging technique that we did. And I'm going to be generous with the adhesive just because when you add the moisture to the paper, it does tend to kind of warp it a little bit. So being generous with your adhesive just helps hold it flat. And then that's going to go onto our card base. Just like that. And then we're going to start with this one, and this one we're going to add some dimensionals to. Starting a new sheet of dimensionals here. So we'll start with this one, and we're going to pop that in the center. Just like that. And then we can do the same with these two. And I love that this heart is not like a perfect heart. One side is just a little bit bigger than the other side. I think it gives it character. All right, so that's the base of the card front. Now we need to embellish it a little bit. So we're going to take this greeting and we're going to add it to this little strip right over top, and then we'll angle cut this and trim this down so it's just a little bit shorter. Okay, and we're going to use our bone folder to kind of curl this up a little bit just to give it a little bit more shape. Christine, that's fun. That's funny. Great minds think alike, right? We are taking our kids and their significant others on a Greek Isles cruise. So that's where we're going next May. So we wanted to get a nice big holiday in before grandkids start coming along, which I'm sure it'll be a little while before grandkids come, but we wanted to fit that in and that seemed like the right time. So I think it'll be fun. Okay. So now I've got a piece of this beautiful iridescent striped ribbon that is part of this collection. And I'm going to take my ribbon scissors and cut right up the middle. Oh, I'd be happy to chat with you. That's going to be amazing, Christine. You'll love it. Have you been to Greece before? Okay, so I wanted to cut this in half just so it was a little bit smaller. And I'm going to use a mini glue dot to adhere it. I'll just pop a mini glue dot here. And then pop that on there. We'll use another mini glue dot to adhere a baker's twine bow because I cannot create a card without baker's twine. Oh, what a great 80th birthday gift or way to celebrate. And then this is going to go on here. I'm going to use another mini glue dot. Actually, I'm going to kind of curl this like this. And we're going to use a couple mini glue dots. So I'm going to put one on this end and one on this end. And we're going to stick that on there like that. So there's still a little bump in the middle, just gives it a little bit of movement. It's kind of a fun way to use it. All right, and then we're going to finish this off with some of these iridescent faceted gems. And we had one fall off here. Oh, it doesn't appear to have any adhesive on it. Let's do this. And we'll grab one of these. And there we go. There's our first card using that Friends for Life bundle. So fun. Love that heart. So that is card number 1. All right, and then we're going to move on to card number 2. Let me pull out the pieces for that. Okay, so for this, some of the things that I've done, so remember these 3 hearts, this is where we're going to use those. So I've got some extras here. I have lots of these. I have a dish full of these from all the samples that I created. I've also gone ahead and I've die cut, can I grab this? I die cut the word friend, which reminds me I need to, the I, or the dot for the I is still in the die. I left it in there so I wouldn't lose it. So I went ahead and I die cut that. Our card base is going to be a piece of balmy blue. And we're going to slide all these pieces up. We're going to start by adhering this. So this was just a scrap that I had and I felt like the card needed a little more color in behind. So I'm just going to stick this right here. And then we can bring in this piece. We're going to distress around the edges on this. So we did the packaging technique on it already. And I'm just going to take my snips and go around just to distress it. And then we can adhere it. And again, because we added that moisture, I'm going to use adhesive all the way around. You don't normally need this much adhesive, but again, because we have that texture and just the paper, it doesn't sit fully flat because of the moisture we added, it's nice to kind of make it sit flat. Okay, and then I love these little hearts, but they are super fine and just very delicate. So what you can do is you can stack them to give them a little bit more height and just a little bit more dimension. And it can be multiple colors. You can see that I've got the blue one underneath. So I'm going to add this other blue one because we might as well use it, right? Actually, let's add the adhesive behind here. So this fine tip glue bottle is perfect for this. You might wonder why I didn't use adhesive sheets for this. And that is because I should have my mat here, my silicone mat, so I don't get my table all sticky. That is because it cuts out the center of the heart as well, right? So, and oftentimes you want to pop that up. So I just felt like it would waste too much of my adhesive sheets by using adhesive sheets. So this is where this comes in handy. So right now I've got 2 blues and 2 whites. I think I'm going to add one more. I'll do this on here. And I do find that if you start with the middle, line up the middle, here comes the garbage truck, and then position the rest of the heart. It works nicely. All right, so now this is nice and thick and it feels a little bit more substantial. So now I'm going to adhere it to my card. So again, I'll use my multi-purpose glue. And we're going to do it kind of like that. Just like that. All right, and then, so I have a leaf here that I stamped. This is actually from the previous card, but what I'm gonna do is I wanna add a little bit of color, but I don't wanna color it in. So I'm gonna use my blending brush. It still has shaded spruce ink on it, and I'm just going to color in my leaf. This is a great way to kind of color without coloring. All right, and then when you die cut it, it will look like that. So we're going to take that, and again, I'll use my bone folder to kind of curl it up, just to give it a bit of movement. And I'm going to use some little mini dimensionals on this one. I think I've got some scraps here. I'm just going to put it's kind of going to straddle the heart. So the heart's going to go kind of in the middle. So I just added a dimensional on either leaf at the bottom so that it still sits up and it kind of follows the shape of the heart. And then we've got our friend. And this, I cut some tiny dimensionals, like strips, really tiny, narrow strips. And again, you can cut this die using some of our foam adhesive or our adhesive sheets. However, because this is so raised, I want it to sit over top of that heart, I didn't want to do that. So just going to do that, and then this is going to go across like that, and then in my die I have that little eye, or the little dot for my eye, and we'll add a little dot here, glue, and tweezers might be handy here. That's gonna go right on there, like that. Okay, and then we need a little bit of baker's twine, and maybe I don't have baker's twine here. Okay. Oh, let's see here. That's too short. Okay, so I'll just grab this, tie a bow with some baker's twine. Add a little dot of multi-purpose glue right here. And add that on there. Okay, and our card is almost done. We need to finish it off with a little bit of bling. So we need to accessorize our card. So we're going to use some more of these iridescent gems. And then the last thing I'm going to do, which I really like to do lately, I seem to be doing a lot, I'm going to take the fine tip of my Stampin' Write marker, just in black, and just add little trios of dots. And there is our card. So pretty. We should add the inside piece. And I think I'm going to turn this into a birthday card. So there is a happy birthday greeting in this stamp set. So I'll take my happy birthday. Let's use some shaded spruce. And we'll stamp that on the inside. And there we go. We've got a fun little birthday card for a friend. So there is card number 2. And then the third card is completely different. So we're stepping away from this color combination, and we're using a completely different color combination. So for the sample, I did it in the pink, but for this one, I'm going to do it in this, use this pattern paper. Okay, so we're going to bring in the paper trimmer because we need to trim down our pattern paper. And we are going to cut it. So first of all, I want to decide which part of my pattern paper I want to use. And I want to have this big orange part as part of it. So I'm going to put it in this way and cut it at 3 3/4. This we aren't going to use, but it is large enough that you can use that to cover your envelope flap if you wanted to. And then I'm going to cut it, rotate it, cut it at 4 1/2. This piece could be for the inside, but we're not actually going to use it. And then I'm going to cut these into 1 1/2 inch strips. Okay, so I've got 3 1 1/2 by 3 3/4 inch strips. Then I'm going to distress them. So using my snips, just going around the edges. And you want to keep them in order because you want that pattern to be continuous, just like it looks here. so then that one's going to go there, and then this one at the bottom. And I probably don't need to go all the way around this one. This top bit of this one gets covered over. Okay, so it's going to go like that. I'm going to bring in my card base, which is a piece of basic white, thick basic white, which does not seem to be scored right down the middle. That's better. Okay, and we're going to adhere our pieces. So we're going to start with this top one, and you want an even border on the top and the two sides. Okay, so like that, and then we're going to do the bottom. And again, even border on the bottom and the two sides this time. And then this one, you can either center, or if you want a narrower gap, then you can do that. It doesn't, this bit here is going to get covered over. So I'm going to do a narrower gap, just because you're not going to see that it's not perfectly centered or even. So I'm just going to pop that down so that it has about 1/8 of an inch in between. And then we're going to take a black strip that's going to go across, and that we're going to, actually this one I think I'm going to put flat. The other one I popped up. And this is going to cover this gap. It does extend past because it's 4 inches rather than 3 3/4. Just want to make sure it's straight. Okay, and then we're going to bring in a scrap piece of white and we're going to do some stamping. So I've got this fabulous friend stamp from the stamp set. I'm going to use some Memento ink. Ink that up and stamp it down on here. Look how beautifully that stamps. And I'm going to do thank you again. There's lots of other greetings in here that you can do that will combine with the friend. Ink that, stamp that in black as well. And then we'll bring in our paper trimmer, trim that down. And then this, there is a die that will cut it out. So this die lines up and cuts that out beautifully. So I've got one that's already done right here. We'll set this aside, and I've got some dimensionals on the back of this. Backing just does not want to come off these dimensionals here. Okay, and then this is going to go right in the center, just like that. And then this other half piece of ribbon that I had left over from the first card, I'm going to take a mini glue dot, just kind of add it right here, fold my ribbon in half, slide this under, use another mini glue dot, put it over top, and then take my twine and tie a bow. Stick that on there like that. And then our thank you, again, I'm going to curl this. I'm going to use a dimensional in this raised part. and then add a little bit of multi-purpose glue on either side here. And that is just going to slide right underneath here, like that. All right, and then the last thing that I did was I took a piece of pumpkin pie cardstock and I die cut some hearts. So I used this, I die cut one of these, and then I die cut one of these. There's going to be an extra orange heart that we won't end up using. And we're gonna pop this guy up with a dimensional. That's gonna go right there. And then these two will go on flat. And there we go. There is our third card. And I don't think I did anything to the inside of this one. Let me just have a quick look here. No, I didn't do anything. So you can see that you get different looks based on the pattern paper that you've used. So there is card number 1, or card number 3. Here's card number 2, and card number 1. So 3 beautiful cards using the Friends for Life bundle. And remember that if you want the pre-cut kits for these cards, all you need to do is place a $60 order through my online store using this month's host code between June 7th and June 13th, and I will send you these card kits for free. All right, now let me share a bunch of other samples with you that I created using this collection. All right, so we have this one. This one I shared actually at my team meeting on Saturday. We were following one of the sketches on page 22 of the annual catalog. So just quick and easy a card. This one's a little bit of a fun fold. So it stands up like that, which I will share another time. This one highlights that beautiful heart again with some DSP. This one I cased from Stampin' Through the Catalog, Melody. I can't remember her last name at the moment. I cased it. She did different colors, but I can't take credit for this. I just cased it, switched out the colors. Love this one. So this is one of the dies that's in the collection, or the die set. This was my make and take for our event last weekend. Here's another one that features the patterned paper. There's another one where I used the more detailed leaf to create a background, and then that die. This is one of the words from the ephemera word pack that it was white and I just colored it with black. Here is another one using that heart. And then a scrapbook layout where I used the pocket dies. This has the tag. I used the leaf, the negative space of the leaf die to create a little bit of a pattern. Used the, I can't remember the name of it, but the big cloud dies. And then, so this uses the DSP, uses the words are from the stamp set. So lots and lots of ideas. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's free card class. And I will be back next week with another one. And I hope you have a fabulous weekend. And I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye, guys.